Have you ever tried running a large language model and felt frustrated because it was too slow, used too many resources, or just didn't perform the way you expected? Turning these models to get the best speed and efficiency can feel like a nightmare, right? There are so many settings to adjust, and you never know which one will give you the best results. Well, what if I told you there is now a tool that can do most of that hard work for you? BentoML has just released a brand new open source tool called LLM-Optimizer. It's designed to make the whole process of testing, benchmarking, and optimizing large language models much simpler. So now let's talk about what exactly is BentoML's LLM Optimizer. Well, LLM Optimizer is an open source tool, which means it's free, transparent, and anyone can use or improve it. Its main purpose is to help you optimize how large language models or LLMs run, especially if you're hosting them yourself on your own servers or machines. Normally, when you try to run an LLM, you have to play around with dozens of different settings, like how many requests you handle at once, how big your batch size should be, or how you split the work across GPUs. Most people figure this out through trial and error, which takes a lot of time, energy, and money. And even then, you are never sure if you have really found the best setup. This is where LLM Optimizer comes in. Instead of guessing, it systematically tests and estimates performance for you. It can try out different configurations, measure how they perform, and even predict results without you having to run heavy experiments every single time. Basically, it takes the guesswork out of optimization and gives you data back and answers. And here is something really cool. BentoML has also released a companion web app called LLM Performance Explorer. Think of it like a ready-made library of benchmarks. You can browse performance results that have already been tested without even running anything on your own computer. This means even if you don't have powerful GPUs, you can still get an idea of which setup might work best for your model and your use case. Now let's talk about the key features of BentoML's LLM Optimizer. This is really where the tool shines because it's packed with smart capabilities that make life much easier for anyone who is trying to run large language models efficiently. First, LLM Optimizer works with two of the most popular interface frameworks available today, vLLM and SGLang. If you are already using either of these frameworks to solve your models, the optimizer can directly connect with them and help fine-tune their settings. Since both vLLM and SGLang are already known for being fast and powerful, having a tool that squeezes out even more performance from them is a big advantage. Another great feature is that it can benchmark across many different configurations automatically. Running a large language model is not just about loading it up, right? There are so many small settings that change how it performs. For example, you can adjust how the model is split across GPUs, how big the batch sizes are, and how many requests it can handle at once, or the rate at which requests are sent. Testing each of these options manually would take forever. But LLM Optimizer can handle this process for you and show you which combinations gives the best results. On top of that, it also supports constraint-based search, which is a very clever idea. Instead of just testing everything and leaving you to sort through the data, you can actually give the optimizer a clear goal. For example, you might say that you want a setup where the time to frost token is less than 200 milliseconds. The optimizer will then narrow down the options and show you only the configurations that meet your requirement. It's like having a filter that instantly cuts through all the noise and delivers exactly what you are looking for. Sometimes, of course, you don't want to run heavy tests because they take too much time or GPU power, right? That's why LLM Optimizer also comes with an estimation mode. Instead of running full benchmarks, it can predict the performance of different setups based on things like your model, your hardware, and the length of your inputs and outputs. This saves a huge amount of effort while still giving you useful insights into what to expect. Looking at raw performance numbers alone can be overwhelming. So another big advantage is that the optimizer comes with built-in visualization tools. It can turn all the data into easy-to-understand charts, such as Pareto frontiers that highlight the best trade-offs between speed and cost, or side-by-side comparisons that make it simple to see which setup is stronger. This makes decision making far easier because you are not drawing in raw numbers, you are seeing the story the data tells. Finally, there is something called the LLM Performance Explorer. which is like a companion web app. Think of it as a big online library of results that have already been tested and stored. Even if you don't have powerful GPUs of your own, you can simply browse through these pre-computed benchmarks to get a good idea of what might work for your use case. It's like borrowing other people's test results so you don't have to start from scratch. When we talk about optimizing large language models, it's important to understand the key metrics that actually show whether your setup is good or not. The first one is called TTFT, or time to first token. This measures how long it takes for the model to start responding after you send it a prompt. Imagine you ask a question in a chatbot. The faster the first word comes back, the more responsive it feels, right? A low TTFT means your model feels snappy and quick, while a high TTFT makes it seem slow and unresponsive. The next metric is ITL, or inter-token latency. Once the model starts generating text, ITL tells us how quickly it produces each token or word base in the string. Think of it like watching someone type. If they type smoothly and steadily, that's low inter-token latency. But if they keep pausing after every word, that's high latency. For users, lower ITL means the responses feel natural and fast. Then we have the throughput and concurrency, which are all about how many people or requests the model can handle at the same time. Throughput is like the number of outputs the system can generate per second, while concurrency is how many users can interact with the model at once without slowing it down. Together, these show you the real capacity of your setup. If you're running a chatbot for thousands of people, these metrics are critical to make sure nobody gets left behind. Finally, there is something called tail latencies, often measured at P95 or P99. This simply means looking at the slowest responses in the system, the 5% or 1% of cases where performance isn't great. It's important because even if your average speed looks good, a user who falls into that unlucky 1% might have a very bad experience. If your P99 latency is too high, it means some users are still waiting way too long, and that can hurt the overall experience. So when you are tuning your models, it's not just about making them faster on average, it's about balancing all these metrics to make sure the system is fast, reliable, and consistent for everyone. Now let's talk about how it actually works in practice. The good news is that the process is very straightforward and you don't need to be an expert to get started. The first step is simply installing it. Since it's open source, you can get it directly using a single command: pip install LLM-Optimizer. That's it. Once it's installed, you are ready to begin. Like every tool, LLM-Optimizer also has few limitations that you should keep in mind before using it. It's powerful, yes, but it's not perfect. First, at the moment, it only supports two interface frameworks, vLLM and SGLang. These are both excellent and widely used, but if you're running your models on other systems like Hugging Faces TGI or something custom, you won't be able to plug them in just yet. Support for more frameworks may come in the future, but right now the focus is only on these two. Second, the optimizer is all about performance, things like speed, latency, and throughput. What it doesn't measure is model accuracy or quality of responses. So while it can tell you the fastest way to serve your model, it won't tell you whether the model is making sense or giving the right answers. For that, you would still need other evaluation tools. Another thing to keep in mind is that results are always hardware dependent. This means the benchmarks you see online or even those you run yourself can vary if you change your GPU, CPU, or memory. A configuration that works perfectly on the machine might not perform the same on another. So think of the optimizer's results as guidelines tailored to your setup, not universal tools. Lastly, benchmarking can be resource intensive. Running full tests means your GPUs will be busy for a while, and that can cost money if you are renting cloud hardware. That's why estimation mode is such a nice option. It lets you get quick insights without always paying the full price of heavy testing. In short, LLM Optimizer is a huge step forward, but it's important to understand its boundaries, right? It's best used as performance guide and not as the final word on everything about your model. Okay, BentoML officially announced the release of LLM Optimizer on September 11, 2025. The best part is that it's completely open source and released under Apache 2.0 license, which means anyone can use it, modify it, and even contribute back to it. There are no hidden costs or restrictions. It's also available today for free, so you don't need to wait or sign up for anything complicated. All you need to do is check out the official GitHub repository, which I have linked for you in the video description. That's where you will find the installation guide, documentation, and everything you need to get started. Before we close, I will love to hear from you. Which framework are you using right now for your LLMs? vLLM or SGLang? Drop your answer in the comments so we can see what the community is using most. And of course, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more updates on the latest AI tools and technologies. That way, you won't miss any of the exciting stuff coming up next.